sleeping on night shift tonight. I'm gonna be in my bed, scared of the broken neck lady or bent neck lady.
Have
What?
you we just watched, I guess. I don't know what episode it is. I think it's 6 or 7 of that. And it was fucking ridiculous. And you
Really?
figure it
I'm
out.
I'm only on episode one.
Okay.
Is the show good?
I've only watched, I mean, Sarah's watched all of it and she says it's really good. It takes a while to build, but she likes that. But I saw like episode 1 and then episode 6 basically. Like I think it was 6. And it was one of the most it was one of the most devastating episodes of TV I've ever watched.
Oh
Oh
God,
God.
that means you're in the right state of mind right now.
Yeah, it was bad.
I'm gonna take the Alex Walker approach to this house and just run, because
Yep.
when you're running, things can't scare you.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
I mean,
that's
they're gonna scare you anyway, so I might as well just get
that
to
is
it.
incredibly true. So something I realized while like trying to design, I'll pull back a curtain a little bit. Trying to design a haunted house to play like D&D is like the thing that makes like horror games and like shows and just haunted house stuff like terrifying is like being helpless. And it's not if you're playing D&D and your characters are helpless, you're not playing D&D anymore. Like the whole point of D&D is you're playing heroes that can do all this crazy shit. So that was like the hardest part of, because I mean I don't want to just like fuck y'all over, render you helpless. So I have to like maintain your power while also trying to make it scary. So that was like the hard part of doing this. This isn't Call of Cthulhu. This isn't like a game designed to be that.
Not what like all the Eldritch horror games and stuff are like. You just basically just get shit on like game after game.
Yeah, like Call of Cthulhu, like you
just lose every
can't
time.
win. Yeah, you can't win. You're going to die. It's just like how much are you going to discover and like how far are you going to get before you go down.
So give us
Yep. So
give us a 2-minute recap.
Yep. So y'all came to the manor with Mirmo and Grinmus, the paranormal investigators of the Lumen Lucertia, who told you a story. All you knew that they needed help with like clearing a house that was causing a bunch of trouble in Beckinsale. And then they told you the story behind it, where it was like this family, one of 3 like power families in Beckinsale that lived here, and they essentially, there was like this 100 years ago, there's this corruption that spread throughout the town, and the Menicus family, the family that lived in this manor, like wasn't affected, and they were being really like miserly and not participating in like the city or whatever. And the city that was getting the rest of the families, the 2 other power families, the Gamenevus and the Loxus, were pissed. They were getting devastated by it, so they like brought the town, united it together to go and like find out what was happening in the Menicus Manor. And they basically went in and found out the Menicus family was performing some malevolent ritual that was releasing the corruption, and they went in and just killed everyone in horrific ways and basically left the house as is all these years hence. And Mirmo kind of said that they kind of left it as like a monument to this evil, and they didn't want to go in or touch it again because whenever they expelled it, it like killed a bunch of people. So basically that was like the recap of the story. And now 100 years later, there hasn't really been any problems with the house until now, where it's causing people to die and go insane and just weird things to be happening. Beckinsale has long been like a weird and supernatural hub of events, but it's like worse now. So that's why it got highlighted, and the Gamenevus and Loxus families are primarily the victims of what's been happening. They hired Mirmo and Grinmus, who then called on y'all's help to go and figure this house out. And then Grinmus and Mirmo kind of decided it needs to be exorcised. So y'all went in, Malice appeared, sang you a song, and showed you these three paintings that are now labeled of depicting the three power families: Dominicus, the Gamenovus, and Loxus. And then he mentioned how he's going to entertain you, and his family's all here, and they're all dead, and blah 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 blah. And then he disappeared, and he said there's two denizens from the invasion those 100 years ago that were still here, and then y'all got attacked by big Naga, snake-like monster, and then an undead like priest figure that was like 8 feet tall, known as a Deathlock. And then y'all were able to fight together to vanquish them. I guess before all that, Grinmus went crazy and attacked Malice, and he got thrown in a demiplane. So Grinmus is gone. Mirmo's there with you. So y'all took down these creatures. Sirocco, you are drenched in blood, because whenever you killed the Naga, it like cried out, and like a geyser of blood spewed all over you. So you're covered in this blood, and you have...
I forgot about the geyser of blood, Jesus.
Yeah, so then it's like in its death throes, it hits you with this blood, and then Darian, after you killed the Deathlock, Malos went and grabbed a pendant off of it and walked away.
Feedback from someone.
Yeah, I'm getting double talk.
Yeah, I can hear that as well, actually. I can hear my own weird voice.
I think it's John.
I don't like it.
Somebody have their speaker.
John, put in those headphones.
You just want to mute.
The headphones are in.
There's two Johns on this call. What's going on?
Yeah, hold on.
There's two Johns on this call. The John is coming from inside the house.
Okay.
So, Sirocco, you noticed kind of, I think I said this, but if I didn't, you noticed this as you kind of fought the Naga and delivered the final blow, is that the walls, so there's a cratered area of wood where the Naga seemingly like emerged from and slithered out down the hall, and there's blood seeping all around from this hole. And then you also noticed, as y'all were like kind of fighting over here, you would have noticed it as well, Quilly, that the walls were like rippling with energy. And as you killed this Naga, that rippling ended. And Sirocco, you heard in your mind. Actually, I'll just whisper it to you. I'm going to use the functionality of Roll20.
Oh, the /W? That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Darian, also something you saw, if you don't remember, is after Malice went and grabbed that pendant, you saw a bunch of other Deathlock-like emaciated figures in the hallway, and then you blinked and it went away, but they were all staring at you with yellow eyes, and as they did, you heard something as well. Both of y'all kind of feel funny for a second, but then it goes, what?
I communicate that.
Communicate what? Everything I just said?
Yep.
Okay. So y'all are here. The Nog is down. The Deathlock is down. It's well lit in this main corridor right here, but the two hallways are pretty dark to the right and to the left.
And the staircase, does it lead anywhere?
So this staircase leads up to this like balcony with the paintings, and that's it. I kind of mentioned how these stairwells that say up, those are just side stairwells. All these stairwells just lead up to this balcony with these paintings. So yeah, there's nowhere that you could presumably see these stairs leading beyond. It's just kind of like to these paintings, and then it's done. It's like a 10-foot stairwell.
Can I walk up and touch the painting?
I go with Malice.
I'll touch the vampire orgy.
So how are you touching it? I gotta change the music.
I put my hand. I just put my hand like kind of towards the center of it, and I touch the actual painting.
Okay. So yeah, this is the painting that depicts a large, womanly, pale white figure with long hair, red eyes, long fangs. She's covered and splattered in blood, and then all around her are smaller, seemingly vampiric figures that are kind of just locked into an orgy-like ball of hypersexual activity. And as you touch this, roll me a charisma saving throw.
Charisma, pretty good at that.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
So yeah, as you touch this, you kind of have pretty vivid visions of pretty much the exact scene that is depicted in the painting, but you see it in motion, and it looks like you're there, and you're like just standing before this big, giant vampiric orgy. but you are seemingly unaffected by this sight. It's gone like a flash, but yeah, you do. It's a rather vivid vision.
Did you see something, Malice?
Yeah, it was weird. Something tried to fuck with me when I touched the painting. It was like I was there.
Whoa.
Which, judging by the look of it, is not somewhere I want to be.
Agreed. Interesting.
I go touch the happy family photo.
Yeah, so you see on the family photo, it's like 10, 11 people all like kind of packed in together. Some are sitting down, some are crouching, some are standing. They're all like holding each other's shoulders. And it looks like a photo. It's a painting, but it's hyper realistic. And you don't recognize any of them. They're all wearing various pretty flamboyant dress and attire. There's a very large figure on the far left. It looks like a Goliath. There's small halfling-like figures. There's elfin figures. There's a human. There's various skin tones and colors. But you do see Malice is the one you do recognize. He's in the center, smiling with his arms around the others as well. And it's kind of like a cheery. You can see the sun in the background painted on. And yeah, it's just this depiction of what looks like a happy family.
Okay, what's this one?
So the other one is, so this is the one where it's a silhouette of a large black winged figure in the center of concentric circles, pretty well organized, of individuals kind of prostrate on their knees with their hands down as if they're worshiping. And it's just rows and rows of them. And this abyssal black winged figures in the center kind of with his arms raised. And it looks like it's being empowered by these worshiping figures. And are you going to touch it, you said? Is that implicit in what you're doing?
Yeah, I'll touch it.
Okay. Roll me a wisdom saving throw. 16. Okay. So you find yourself, you're suddenly gifted with visions, but it's more so like you're now embodying one of those figures in the paintings, where you now have this black cloak on, covering your face. You're on the ground. And if you were to look up, you would see you're in the front row. You see this towering figure in kind of a greater light and detail, and you can see it has long, jagged claws on its feet right next to where you're standing, and it raises up seemingly like 10s, if not 100 meters in the air, and its wings are wide, and there's dark, overcast clouds overhead with lightning bubbling in them, but not quite striking yet. And as you look up, the horned abyssal figure looks down at you, and its eyes are red, glaring down at you, and right as it meets your small, pathetic figure at his feet, you snap out of it, and you're back looking at the painting.
Robot?
Yeah, sorry, you cut out, Will.
What's that?
You cut out?
Oh, I just said I slide down the banister.
Okay. No roll needed for that. It's not that long.
Maybe the paintings hint at what challenges face us through each pathway.
I hope not.
I say to the group.
Let's go with Vampire Orgy.
Mirmo is kind
actually-
of pacing back and forth. She has her weapon stowed, and she has like a small little handbook or manual out. She's kind of like flustered. Yeah, she's going back and forth. She closes it, puts it in her back pocket. She says, well, like I said, I think we should continue on with the mission. We need to find the heart. Malice said there wasn't one, but I don't think we should listen to anything he says. Obviously, he's an evil spirit. But yeah, I think even without Grinmus, we can still do this. Grinmus was kind of key, but I think we can figure it out. Everything's in front of us. We just need to explore the house and become familiarized with it. And most important thing is we need to stick together.
Makes sense. I say we go left. Pretty charismatic bunch.
Yep.
I'm down.
Sure.
Sirocco, you're disgusting.
By the way, how's everyone feeling? Irma, do you know any sort of restoration spells that kind of knocked up in that fight?
You mean healing?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Did I get hit? I don't think so.
I'll take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, she would She's like, I can cure your wounds. Oh wow, Max, you heal for 11.
Oh, nice.
And then you take 11 damage
Oh, much
because
better.
there's no healing in Wonderland.
That would fucking suck if that happened.
Okay, so y'all are going which way? Mirmo would follow. She doesn't think there's a specific way that she understands that should be going or whatever. So she'd leave that to y'all.
I start walking down the hall to the left, but I'm like weary of the like walls on the side.
So
Kinda
before we leave the serpent body, I mean, you said it like exploded?
Yeah, blood exploded out of its mouth as it was killed
Oh,
by
okay.
Sirocco with the spear.
Our party knows that or like based on the last session, that it'll like come back to life at some point or something like that, unless we have wish.
Yeah, I did like a history check or whatever.
At most a week is what Quilly understands.
Oh, okay, almost a week. Okay.
So it depends. It's just these things like, short of just killing them and then wishing them never to return, they always return. That's like the great power of a Naga.
Okay.
But this is also, this Naga's
week
a
is
lot
fine.
larger than you would normally see. And you saw it bite the bird and like drain it of all its blood as it was killed, which is also not something Nagas do.
All right, let's go.
So yeah, as you approach this way, you see there's 4 separate doors.
So like
So-
one.
There's a door right here, door right here, door right here, and a door right here. They're all relatively normal looking. This one is made of stone. This one it's wooden, but it appears to go outdoors in like a courtyard-like area, and you can actually see vines creeping in underneath the doorway right here. And then this one's wooden. This one's a smaller door. That like looks kind of like it leads somewhere, like a smaller type of room. It's a smaller door than the others.
And what's the front one?
The front one looks just like normal. It's a door in between rooms within the house. Oh, they all are, I guess, other than the one that looks like it leads outside. There's like roots and vines creeping underneath it. The one to the south.
Alex, you said you want to go small one?
Small door.
Small door it is.
Small door.
My spooky playlist.
Let's see. Maybe I should open it with a mage hand just in case.
Do it.
Okay, I use mage hand to open the door. I'm standing probably like a few feet back.
Yeah, y'all can position yourselves how you would be in front of it. Okay, so yeah, you are able to open the door with your mage hand, and you see a pretty small room that looks like, I guess you wouldn't be able to see into the entire room if you just opened it and looked at it from a distance. It's darkened inside.
welcome.
Do you have dark vision?
I do.
Yeah, so it's darkened inside, but you can still make out. It looks like there's a tall shelf with a bunch of vials and potions and bottles on it, and there's a lot of cobwebs upon the shelf in between all these items.
Okay.
So you can see that much of the room as you open this door. It creaks open this small door with your mage hand.
Okay. It looks pretty innocuous, but it's dark.
Yeah.
Should we head in?
Melis
I can
rushes in.
cast.
Magnus
Okay.
rushes in.
Melis rushes in.
I cast produce flame in my hand to create a light, and then follow them.
Okay. As you approach, get a little bit closer, you can hear the sound of stone clinking. You hear like a and then kind of like grinding, and then you hear someone's voice as you walk in, produce this flame. You hear, "Who's there?" And you see a figure sitting at a desk over here. You see a small figure sitting at a table, their back turned, and she slowly turns and looks at you. And she's very short. She looks like a halfling. She has long hair. She's wearing glasses, and in her hands, she's holding a mortar and pestle.
Whoa.
What are you grinding
Hey
up?
there.
Who are you? What are you doing here? I have work to do. She like turns back around. She continues grinding. On her desk is a lot of what you saw on the shelf. There's books, tomes. There's more potions, and all of it Y'all can roll me a perception. But everything on the table also has cobwebs and just looks like it's in disrepair. So Malice, you manage to make out, like, just standing before. You can see all of her features pretty well defined. Like I mentioned, she's a halfling, long hair. But you and Sirocco both notice that she doesn't look like she's all there. She's a little bit translucent.
Wait, so she's like physically not all there?
Yeah.
Man, okay.
Did she say what
She says
she was making?
no. So you asked her what potion are you making?
Yeah.
She's like, it's gonna save the family. She's continuing to grind with her back turned. It's gonna save us all.
I ask her which way is the giant vampiric orgy.
She turns back with an
seem
eye.
to have made a wrong turn.
What are you talking? Vampires? You won't find any Gamma Navis here. They never. She continues.
Sorry, did you say the Gaminatus were vampires?
Yes, everyone knows that.
I didn't.
Well, you do now. What brings you here to our manor this evening? What do you need? Do you need something from me? Because I have work to do.
Yeah, who are you?
She looks at you. She kind of puts down her mortar and pestle, wheels around in her chair. The others won't be as forthcoming, but my name is Ronde. And she puts out her hand, and I think everyone needs help.
Last name Boo.
Whenever you try to shake it, your hand just passes through.
Are you
Got
dead?
it. Okay, so you're incorporeal. What are you saying? What are you trying to save the family from?
Well, the thing that everyone needs saving from, death. This brew can reverse it. I'm convinced. But you still haven't told me what you're doing in our manor. Why are you here? Why are all of you here? And you see Mirmo in the back. She's just like looking at her and she's taking notes.
For the orgy. I already said.
You won't find any orgies here. That's not what we do. That's not what we're about.
Why do you have a painting then of an orgy?
What painting?
You do have a painting of a vampiric orgy in your house, so I'm gonna need you to just.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You can't be so indignant.
No. You're
Like
lying.
You're a cranky old ghost.
You're lying to me. There are no orgy paintings. None.
Okay. Well, that's fine. Can I take all your potions?
Yeah, sure. You'll find.
I take all our potions.
Wait, what do you mean you take all of our potions?
You don't take all of them.
There's a lot.
I'm worried you think I meant a large amount of potions. What I said was all potions.
I know, but like, what are you doing?
We'll be taking those
You have
potions,
to start
man.
somewhere. The shelves stretch all the way to the ceiling.
Malice and Darren like open up their packs and just start like
Shoving it in.
So as you go to start shoveling in the potions before she's even able to say anything, you do notice that a lot of them are empty, and like I said, there's cobwebs and it looks like no one's been in this room for a very long time. And
I want to ask her. Oh, never mind. You resolve this first. Go ahead.
yeah, so you do see some potions, like maybe 1 out of every 5 has something in it. So if you wanted to just like pick those up, or just shovel them all in, either way. She's like, slow your horses. Some of these you may not like, but I can help. I have a lot of different types of potions. It would help if you asked what you were looking for.
How long have you been here?
Well, that's a question I don't know how to answer. I've always been here. The honest truth is I don't know, because I don't know.
Okay.
I've always been here. This is all I've ever known, and I just continue to make potions, and I give most of them to Malice, but some of them I have free reign to experiment on. This one's a long-term one. And she turns back around and continues grinding.
What's your friend Malice up to? family member, whatever.
Malice is a very complex person, but he all he wants to do is help this town, help us. He helped all of us. Like I said, she kind of like sighs, closes her eyes. The others aren't so well, but we're working on it. Malice just wants to restore everyone to how they were. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm making this brew. Malice always knew what to do, and he needs my help. If you're here to help, she sees you like looking at the potions. She points out 2 areas. Those 2 will help you. Those are boons and not the other thing, which is also something I work on quite a bit. So those will be helpful in your endeavors here in the house. If you're trying to help, that is what you're doing, right? You're trying to help us, the Menicus?
Yep.
The Menicus family?
You got it. You got it in one. That's exactly what we're here for.
So you see a potion that is kind of has sparkling like golden fluid in it. It looks like honey almost, but it's like almost like lit up. And then you see another potion that just has white liquid that's kind of swirling. It looks kind of like milk, but if you put like oil in it almost, to where it has different materials combined with the white swirling. And those are the 2 that she pointed at that she said would be boons.
Okay, I snagged the gold one, and then I tossed the one with the semen in it to Darian.
She says, she points at the golden one. She says, drink that, and the spooks may not affect you so much. Drink that one, and it'll help you feel your body. It'll help your body feel better, in addition to doing some other things. But
Did you have to hurt anyone to make these potions?
not those potions, no. Some potions, certainly.
You said something about the other thing as opposed to a boon. What do you got in that flavor?
The other thing I just meant it heals you, and it does something else that is also a good thing.
Oh, sorry. I meant you had boon potions and then some other types of potions.
Yes.
What are the other types of potions?
Poisons, curses, acids, all matter of this. This is an apothecary. I do everything.
We'll take all your poisons, acids, and curses.
Roll me persuasion.
Yeah. Woo!
Damn.
She looks down.
Persuasion.
She looks up.
Pretty good
She's
at
like,
persuasion.
"How do you intend to use them?"
Well, we're just a little worried. I think you have a bit of a snake infection thing going. I don't know if you noticed, but my buddy Sirocco here is literally drenched in blood. Yeah, snake did that to him. So, in case we run any more snakes.
Well, poisons might not work very well on snakes. It's a very specific opponent. But if you're going to use them to help the Menicus family, then you may have them. I can always make more. But just know that those are very dangerous. And when you poison someone, when you throw acid on them, just know that I need to know that you're fighting for the right reasons. That's why I ask. Yes, you can have them. And also, Sirocco, you do notice that maybe you've been trying to wipe the blood off, and as you walk, it's kind of dripping onto the floor, and it's kind of left a trail everywhere you go. And the more you try to wipe off this blood, it doesn't really come off.
Oh man, that's
I
horrible.
wasn't wiping it off. I'm letting it dry.
Yeah. So it's continually, it's not really drying either. It's continually wet, and it's leaving a trail as you walk around.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for the potions.
No problem.
Is there any part of the house you recommend we visit?
Are you guys a tour?
Yeah, just like a.
Sure?
Well,
Can you leave this room?
I don't know how to answer that.
It's a pretty simple question.
She kind of just stares at you blankly and shakes her head and continues working.
So that's no.
Malos, roll me a perception.
Boop.
This is more so a feeling rather than sight, but you feel a slight breeze coming from right here, through this direction. You are more so there.
Okay.
in
What was
between.
her name?
Her name is Ronde.
Hey, Rhonda, would you mind if I take a look behind your shelf here? I'll be gentle. I don't want to knock anything over.
Go ahead. She turns around. She's continuing to work.
Hey, Darian, can you give me a hand real quick?
Yeah.
Let's move the shelf.
The shelf. Okay.
All right, we move the shelf.
You see a kind of right behind the shelf, right here. You see like a small panel, that like a seam in the wall, and it looks like it's a little secret passageway about the size of you'd have to get on your hands and knees to crawl through.
Oh.
Bingo.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Let's go.
Is this the move?
I go through feet first.
Feet first.
Because I
So-
can lose my feet and still be okay.
I go in after him. I wish you had gone last, Sirocco. You're dripping blood everywhere.
Oh god.
It'll
This
make
is
it
a really
easier to
small space,
slide.
and it's much worse because of this.
It's like a slip and slide now.
I could go first with the light.
Oh, we're already in.
Yeah, so you see it's a pretty small room, so like as y'all like file in, you notice there's not a lot of room to stand. You see doesn't have the same decor as it's actually kind of funny. After watching Castle Rock. This is all created before Castle Rock. There's a small just like hole. And there's not really any you don't see that water, that's just part of the map. But there's a hole in the ground, and it's just like stone, very simple, completely dark. If you don't have dark vision, you could not see very well. And as y'all kind of pass through this little passageway, come into this room, you file in, you can all stand about the hole. And the hole is about like man-sized. You could fit into it if you like penciled yourself. And you hear immediately echoing from within the hole, "Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?"
Hey.
Hey.
Oh my God!
What's up?
Someone's there. You have to help me.
Hey,
I'm
I put
down
my head
here.
near the hole.
you
I put my
down
head
there?
near- I put my head near the passage. Hey, Rondé, you hear me?
Yes.
What's the deal with the guy in the hole?
Hole? What hole? She kind of
Okay,
like walks
see ya.
over and like looks in. She looks in, kind of like through the passageway y'all just went through. Like, what are you talking about?
Big hole in here. Sounds like there's a guy in it.
Guy? Hole? I didn't even know this passage existed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. She goes back.
Should we like lower some rope down or something?
Hey, if we lower some rope down, are you gonna try to murder us when you get up here?
No, please save me.
Asking for a friend.
Please, no. No, I won't hurt you. I've been waiting down here a long time, and I haven't heard another person's voice in I don't know how long it would be. Please send a rope down. Yes.
How far down is the hole?
You can't see. It's just
Can we
like
tell?
pitch dark. But you can
Okay.
roll me a perception to try to determine that, based on like his voice and like where
So
it's coming from.
this room again, is it like we passed through that little corridor and now we're in a room with a hole in the middle, or
Yeah, it seems like this is like almost it's in between room. It's like this is like in the wall. This isn't like a room. This
Mhm.
is like it's something that I don't know. It doesn't really make sense what this room
Yeah.
is. But yeah, you
I'll try to look down the hole, but also recommend like if anyone with special eyes or dark vision.
Yeah.
Hole.
I hold my hand out with like the flame and try to see if I can see like deeper into it.
Yeah, so you can kind of determine that it's like a good at least 30 feet, if not more, down, and you can't, using the light, using your dark vision, you can't tell, you can't see anything, all other than hearing this guy's voice.
Pretty sure
Hey,
there's nothing there.
What's your name, bud?
It's it's Vance.
Vance what?
Vance Joy.
Vance, what? Oh, my last name.
Vance?
Sorry,
Yeah, I'm
continue.
curious. What's your last name?
It's Jack. Vance Jack. I've got two first names. It's a curse.
What's your middle name?
I
You
don't
have a
have a
middle
middle name. What is this?
Okay.
Is this hell?
It's about to be if you don't
Alright.
tell us your middle name.
Finally dead.
Are you sure a rope would help you
Yeah,
in your
I
current
can-
situation?
I can latch onto it and come up. The rope, as long as it's strong, you're gonna need to carry me. It's gonna need to hold my body. Wait. Don't worry.
Wait.
But I don't.
I'm a
Right.
pretty lean
You're just
guy.
not gonna pull out his rope of climbing.
I'm a
I
pretty
like
lean
this
guy.
person.
Your rope should be fine. You know, I really cut back.
Vance
I
Jack
don't
sounds
do
like
it.
Barry Blue Jeans.
It's a combination of Barry Blue Jeans and Rick.
Rick, hey, right.
Rick from what?
Rick and
Rick
Morty.
and Morty.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
John,
I thought you were saying Rick
John
from
out here
Walking
making
Dead.
Rick and Morty reference.
Even though I've never seen it.
Carl, raise me up. Okay. So you're lowering the rope of climbing down?
I'm not. No. I'm not lowering my cursed rope down. Someone else is gonna lower
Just gonna say
the basic rope.
The bad rope that's gonna choke him.
Yeah, and Tyrion is aware he's not taking it out.
That would have been funny. That would have been a good goof.
Yeah.
Hey, Vance Jack. I'm totally gonna lower a rope, but I'm just curious. How did you wind up in this hole?
It's a tragedy that I intended to write once I got out of here. You see, I'm a journalist, or I was, and I was hired by someone to come here and do my thing, do my journaling, and that bastard, Bora Gamanavis did this to me. He threw me down here, and I haven't been able to get out. We got an update.
All right, Vance. You know what? For some reason, I believe you. And I lower the rope down.
Okay.
I think I've got a rope.
If you have like an adventuring pack, I would say at least a couple of y'all would have ropes for sure.
Yeah. I think I have normal rope. Yeah, I do.
I think I took like the warlock pack, so I don't have one.
Equipment.
I have some parchment and a
No,
little
I do not
bag.
have a rope.
I have a normal rope. I can get the normal rope out.
Chat, so I don't.
Should we like tie it to something?
Why don't I have? It's weird. I don't have like any like bait. I must have like not picked a sold like a
Starting equipment.
yeah.
Yeah. So those are the two
Oh,
potions
nice.
y'all got. And then.
But I had semen potion in my inventory, so I'll change that to the other wording.
All right.
So
Oh yeah, I was.
the rope goes down, and you kind of lower it down into the darkness, and you hear Vance. He's like, just give me one moment. Let me get on here. And then you feel the weight of this figure touch the rope, and kind of he's like, all right, I'm on.
But we don't see anything.
No, you're gonna start raising him up.
Yep.
Okay.
How are you guys just like cool with this? This seems crazy.
So as you raise it-
Wait, we stop. Wait, Quilly, you want me to drop this dude?
it's too late. It's too late. I'm resolving
I don't
it.
even know what to do.
I'm resolving it.
Oh no, I'm pulling him up no matter what. But
All right.
Yeah.
we can't just leave this dude down here. I mean, yeah, whatever. He tries to kill us, whatever. But
What even is it? Okay.
So as you
Classic
like are
world
pulling,
dilemma.
as you're pulling this rope up and kind of like it's getting closer and closer, you still can't see anything. The darkness is like kind of like ever present. But those of you with dark vision, as you stare down, you see a smallish like figure start to appear. And it looks up, and on the end of the rope he's biting it, and you can see his eyes are kind of glowing red, and
Oh, God.
on the rope's in between his teeth, and he says, "I really appreciate it." And his body is just a torso. He has no arms or legs, and he looks emaciated to the point of almost looking like the Deathlock, where like just all his skin is shriveled and pale and ripped up, and as you pull him fully into the light, you can see his head is bald and his wispy hair around, and it's just a torso. There's no arms or legs, and his eyes glow with this reddish tint. And you can roll me. I guess, I mean, if y'all pulled him up and kind of like grabbed him and put him aside, you would also be able to tell that his mouth is chewing on the rope. He has 2 long fangs where his incisors would be.
I back away once I see his shape.
He's like, oh, thank you. I finally out of that dark hole into another dark hole. Thank you so much. I don't even know why or how I'm alive, but thank you.
Well, you're a vampire. I'll tell you that.
What?
That's how.
What is that?
It's what you are.
Okay, this is fucking weird.
Don't act up or we'll put you back in the hole, okay?
Act up. I can't do much of anything.
What do you remember?
I longed for death for so long and it never came that I forgot that it was an option.
So, how long ago did you come here? Do you remember?
Let me think. I used to count days, but it's been... I gave that up a long time ago. It has to be decades now.
Oh my god.
Do you want me to kill you? Because I will.
You
You
asked-
said you wished for death for a long time.
If you
I'm
asked
your-
me that yesterday, I would say yes. But right
But
now,
even-
there's new developments, and maybe I don't want to die anymore.
You've turned over a new leaf then.
Yeah, you can say that.
Why don't you get out of here?
I think I'm gonna need some help.
And he like wriggles his body.
He's a nugget.
He's a nugget.
I tie my rope around my waist and then around his, like, under his armpits, and I'm gonna pull him along.
Like pull him along on the ground or wear him like a backpack.
I'm gonna pull him along for now. If I have to put him on my back, I will.
Okay, as you kind of like carry
I
him out
I
of...
want to ask him if it's okay if I take him with me.
Yeah, that'd be great. I just want to get out of here, out of this room, out of this
Hey,
well.
hey,
Can we look
Vance?
for some like wood or something, some makeshift like sled for him
No,
to like
we'll
ride
sled.
on? Yeah.
You got it.
Maybe he'll
Maybe-
fly
maybe I
easily
better
on the
bring
blood
it
trail
for-
I'm leaving.
Actually, as you're like kind of you're near him. This is funny. As you're near him, covered in blood, I'm gonna need you to roll me a dexterity or just allow it to happen. But he's gonna like, as you're like tying the rope around him, he's gonna like lunge at your like just without thinking. He's like, yeah. He lunges at your.
How is this nugget lunging?
This nugget's
It's
gonna
a
lunge.
be easy DC for me to break.
It would be easy to break, but he's gonna try to like either lick or bite or like get near the blood on the end of your like hands and arms. That's the thing that's nearest to him as you get the ropes around him.
He's like, oh, you're covered in the stuff. Like, yeah.
This is a real horror show.
I want to move. I want to move first.
Are we in combat now?
Dex.
Can I make a reaction to his attack on? No, I'm just
I
kidding.
drive my spear into his chest.
Jesus. He's like, oh, like so you're able to easily like dodge away.
He's like, oh,
Okay.
sorry. I don't know what came over me.
Well, I
That-
say, are you gonna bite me or are you gonna lick me?
I haven't been hungry in 100 years, but whoa, I'm hungry now. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff.
And he's just like looking at you with his eyes, and he like puts his chin on the ground and starts to inch towards you. He's like,
Can I
just
go
give me-
back? Is there,
give
is
me
there
one
some meat
little
in,
lick.
like the hallway that we can go get him from any one of these 3 monsters?
Oh, we could go drag him back if you
Yeah,
Give
I
him
mean
the
the blood that's all over you is the blood of this Naga creature.
Right. I didn't know if the body disappeared. Okay.
No,
yeah.
the
I mean,
body's still there.
How's some Naga sound, buddy? You want
yeah.
some
There's
Naga?
some meat out in the
He's like,
hallway.
just give me one taste. One little taste.
And he's just inching towards you.
Are you
I
still
give him
dripping?
my
Why don't you just
finger.
drip? Why don't you just drip on the stone and let him lick it?
That's true, yeah. No, so as you're like kind of walked up to him, you dripped a trail of blood that he's now like
Okay,
inching
then-
towards.
Okay. Then I say you can lick that little puddle there. Lap it up.
Hey, Sirocco, why are you permanently dripping blood? I figured that would have maybe stopped at some point.
Yeah. It's a good question. But so far, we've found 2 people in this house that are completely incapable of answering any question that we have. We're gonna have to keep looking for answers.
Maybe we should just go back and go a different way.
This guy's first name is Vance.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Vance, we're gonna leave you
Vance.
here. Bye, bud.
He's just on the
Going
ground.
back
Like,
back in the hole.
have y'all seen the movie Limitless?
Oh yeah.
It's like the scene where Bradley Cooper is like like high out of his mind or whatever, and like someone is like dripping blood that has the drug in it, and he's on the ground just like weakly like sucking it in. That's what this thing's doing right now. And in the same way where he regains his faculties, you see this guy, his head starts to shake, and like you can see right now, like before you, his body starts to like unshrivel itself a little bit. Like he looks like he's like a corpse right now, and he starts to look like, as he drinks in this blood, a slightly less emaciated corpse, but still a corpse.
He's like, ooh, yeah, this is good stuff. How did I ever go without this?
Guess he's a vampire. Should we leave him or just? I don't know. He doesn't.
I think we should take him.
We could try to chop down one of the doors and make like a.
I'm trying to decide if I want to be a vampire or not.
You could roll me in nature to see how much you know about vampires.
Darian definitely has like an urge to put this thing down, but at the same time, he like doesn't see it as a threat, so he's not really worried.
Well, if he's not a vampire, we can't kill him. What do you kill a vampire with? A silver bullet or something?
You can kill a vampire as long as you use magic or
Yeah.
silver, or
Oh.
you can stake it through the heart. But I mean, someone would need to roll to actually know that. But y'all have also fought vampires.
We
so you know
fought
that.
vampires.
But Quilly
Yeah.
would need to roll. I was saying, Malice, you could roll to see how much you know about like the process of like vampirism and stuff.
I think Lament and Olivar could make quick work if we really needed to of this nugget, the vampire nugget.
Yeah,
The
we just killed like a giant 8-foot skeleton. I think we'll be okay
Yeah.
with the nug.
Okay, so what are y'all? How are y'all going to proceed?
So we're gonna pull him back into the other room and make a little sled for him. And there was no other areas to go other than that hole, correct?
Yeah.
In the other room. Okay.
Yeah.
So pull him back into the apothecary.
And the woman see him? Yeah.
Huh?
Can
Does Rhonda
Rondé?
react to him coming in, or is she just kind of like?
Yeah, she would turn back and look at y'all and then the thing that y'all brought in. She said, what is that thing? Oh,
It's not a thing. His name is Vance.
such a creature. I can help. Y'all helping him? What is he? Is he your friend?
More of an acquaintance. I wouldn't say we're helping him necessarily. More or less, bring them along for the ride.
Well, that's good. I think such a creature as that probably needs all the help it can get. I think we all need.
So, Soraka, are you still like? We're gonna make. I don't know. I guess
Okay.
we need to ask Rondé if there's some like.
I mean, I
wood.
can make a little rope. A little rope papoose.
Well, I mean, there's probably some spare wood or something in here that we can use, or a spare book, large tome that we can put him on.
I'll just drag him.
It's up to you.
I'll just put him on my back. We'll strap him to my back.
Okay.
Actually, to my front. I don't want him
Okay.
biting my back.
Okay, so he's like facing
You can't-
forward, and you have him babied to your front side.
Yeah, I have him baby Bjorning in the front.
Okay, all right, that's canon.
So let's go back into the main hallway now.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. I go
Okay.
back out.
First person out. Roll me a perception.
I think that was Squilly.
Okay. Not great. Average.
You don't see it very well, but
Or are you waiting for someone to load?
yeah, it was. But now
Okay.
Sorry guys, I got an email.
No worries.
I don't have too much longer. Unfortunately. But I can play like basically any day this week too.
Oh shit.
is where you see this.
Are you pinging it? Sorry, ping one more time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty far. Back on the other side. I say, maybe some spooks out here, boys. Or maybe some League of Legends characters. I'm not really sure.
I could play some League after. Yeah, but let's play. Okay, I'm back. No more email.
I just say, I think there might have been some, unless my eyes are deceiving me, some small girl out on the other side of the hallway.
Are we all already down there? Already in the hall?
Was she like a creepy small girl, or like a normal looking small girl.
Well, she had a teddy bear. So,
Was it Annie?
could have been. Tibbers?
Timbers.
I hope it's not Tibbers. Dylan put Tibbers in our D&D campaign. That'd actually be awesome. I'd be super into that. I'm gonna go through this door.
You're gonna go through that door? Okay. It is slightly ajar already, actually, and opens into another hallway. It looks like.
Wait, before I do this, Cooley, where was the girl you saw?
Oh, she was back on the other side of the hallway, actually. Back by the, over here. Back by the creepy dude. Past him.
Over here, where I'm pinging?
Yep. Like past him.
Huh. Cool. Well,
Maybe she's just another family member. I don't know.
I don't know if we can follow her if you want, instead of going this way. This way looks like it leads to another hallway. It goes deeper into the mansion.
So yeah, what you see is it's a hallway, and then there is a doorway right.
All right, I'll go.
And this doorway is actually, this door is like glass, and you can see inside. And this, they're not like super detailed inside, but inside this room, it looks like a greenhouse or similar type glass matrix of plant life that's inside, and the plants look like they're alive and well. I mean, it's night outside, so you can see into here, at least what this room looks like, because the door is glass.
Oh, so it's like a green. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing like over here?
Over where?
Like over here?
So yeah, you can see down the hall, and then there's like, kind of gets dark over here, so you couldn't see that far, and then it looks like there's another door right here.
Okay. You want to go check out the greenhouse, Malice, or should we keep going?
I don't know what's everybody else want to do.
Let's do it.
I mean, if we're being honest, the greenhouse probably didn't have what we're looking for.
It's not that spooky.
Spooky plants?
I don't want
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
not-
into a fight with like a big Venus flytrap.
The old Little Shop of Horrors action.
Yeah, I'm not into that. We'll just burn the place down.
Let's keep going. To the far door then? Like up here?
Sure.
Alright, I go up to this door.
Okay.
So we're dragging Vance, and Murmo's following us as well.
Yeah, Murmo's following you. Her commentary on the vamp would be, she's like, well, he says that it's a journalist hired by someone named Bora Gamma Navis that then did this to him.
Hmm.
The Gamma Navis family is vampires. He's a vampire, left him in the well. I don't know, but she's writing it all down, kind of gathering her thoughts, and she
Do we
would
have
say,
Vance with us?
What's that?
Did we bring Vance? Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, Vance is he's got like you know how like they have those like outfits where you can have your baby as like a front backpack. That's
He's
what
a
they're
front
doing.
backpack?
He's a front backpack.
Oh, he's the front
so
back.
Rocco?
Okay.
Yeah, he's in the
That's what
front. I mean, I don't want him behind me.
Yeah, he's
But
got to
then
be able
he
to see
can
what he's doing.
Bite my neck.
And as you continue to walk around Sirocco and you're still covered in blood, the blood is kind of dripping off of you and it's seeping onto Vance's body because you're like connected in this way.
Okay.
And you notice that his body, he's like kind of like reaching over to his shoulders and like licking it up still. He's like, yeah. And also the blood is seemingly like seeping into his body and kind of like absorbing and going away. And you see his body become less and less emaciated, even in like a minute's time, happening pretty quickly. So this room you open up and the door opens, but it gets blocked. And you can kind of see into the room, but it looks like something is like stopping the door from opening. And if you looked inside, there's looks like a table, or you can roll me a perception actually to see into the room and see what it might be. Also, y'all could roll me intelligence checks on Ronde and what she looked like.
Oh fuck. I'm just so stupid, I don't even know.
So, Quilly and Malice, y'all both notice that this room, as you kind of open it up and kind of force the door open a little bit, is just covered in coffins stacked on top of each other. And that's what's blocking the door.
Oh god. Well, I see dead people.
And the intelligence checks, Malos and Sirocco, you recognize Ronde as one of the people in the Manicus family photo.
Makes sense. She did say she was Manikin? I don't know. Should we try to force this door open?
Yeah, let's do it. I could burn the coffins. I don't know if that would be a good idea though.
Well,
Is this
let's
like
hold
vampire
on.
bit?
Let's hold on that. Maybe not desecrate a bunch of dead people just yet.
I could use Mage Hand again, but I think it's only as strong as my normal strength.
It wouldn't be. I wouldn't even require a roll to like just force the door open and like kind of push some of the coffins back.
Oh, okay.
Mouse uses his dad's strength to open the door.
Yeah. So as you walk in, the room is pretty well lit, but it's lit with kind of like blue flaming candles all around. So like the aura of the room is still dark and dim, but you can see even without dark vision. And other than the coffins, there's coffins of variety of different types. There's like stone, wooden. There's a couple of ones that are like vertical, like tomb-like Iron Maiden type coffins. And then at the head of the room, you do see this statue. It is it's kind of a complicated statue because it looks like it's just a humanoid figure, but one hand is holding a scythe, the other hand is holding a sword, and half of its body split down the middle half of its body is black gray stone, the other half is white, almost like marble. And on one side has a scythe, the other side has a sword, wearing a cloak with a hood on one side, and then the other side is kind of gleaming armor. And y'all can roll me a religion check to see if you understand what that statue is.
What the fuck?
Well, Willie?
Isn't that like, haven't you done that multiple times now?
Yeah.
Gone critical, miss, critical.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Soraka. Jesus.
I'm not a religious man.
Wow, that's hilarious, Straka. So Quilly, you know this to be with pretty immense detail, and it's easier to notice the one with the sword and the gleaming armor, the marble. That is very clearly half of Lathander, the god of like light and birth and rebirth. And then the other side is a more like esoteric figure, but your basis of understanding it through your vast knowledge of religion, apparently, is this looks like the god of death. The Grim Reaper Thanatos would be his kind of deification. But this looks like this is like a split Thanatos and Lathander statue. Both kind of like residing and presiding over all of these coffins in the room.
Got some duality action going on. I tell the party that it looks like half Reaper, half God.
And
Interesting. Got some rebirth symbolism going here.
the only other thing of note as y'all like kind of walk into the room on the outside, like kind of wading your way through the coffins, is in the far corner, kind of like where this little trash can is. You see a skeleton, and the skeleton is standing upright. Apparently, doesn't look like it's leaning on anything either.
I use a mage hand to like tickle his chin. Does anything happen?
Yes. As you tickle its chin, it kind of like brings its hand up and like kind of swats it away.
Oh shit!
And it looks it looks as much as the skeleton can look, but you see its face, its head, like slowly move and kind of take in the people in the room. Kind of at the same time, y'all are noticing it. It is noticing y'all, and so it kind of after it looks at everybody, it speaks and it says, "There is a task for you, whoever you are. I want you to tell me how these 5 people died." And it's pointing with its 5 fingers to kind of the coffins that are nearest to it. It would be the 5 kind of starting at the head of this one and down. So there's like a really fine wooden coffin, one made of marble, one made of dark stone, and then 2 made of simple wood. One of them is like a darker, one's oak, one's mahogany looking. Those are some passive wood checks y'all just passed. And then he says, "Including me." And he points to his sternum. And then in a slightly different voice, it says, actually, so it points to its sternum and it says, "Including me, a 6th person." And then it detaches its head and kind of like raises it up and does like a stance. And it says, "I lie here defeated. My life slips away. Though I used to conquer this foe every day, my killer's relentless and touches me now. I know he'll succeed, but to you I vow. Give me the weapon after I've died. I'll breathe once again and tell you what I spy." And you do see also there's a small like short sword on the wall nearest to him, so I can type that out. But it says that, and then these 5 coffins lie before you.
Okay. Can we? So what's in it for us in this task?
He brings his head back and puts it on. Well, The first thing is you'll learn my name. The second thing, I'll tell you what I spied, what I just said.
Are you a Manicus?
That I am, or I was.
Huh. Okay. I open the coffin in front of me.
Okay, so that the white, like marble looking one?
Yeah.
So inside you see a corpse, and it is kind of like, it looks like it's like rain drenched or like bloated almost. And
Ugh.
it looks at you with kind of wide eyes. You can see its face turning, and it says, I run smoother than most any rhyme. I love to fall but cannot climb.
Water?
Yeah. So it immediately
Fucking wrecked.
Eat shit, Dylan.
It immediately, I realized as I was describing it, I gave it away. But it like kind of releases the water from its body and like kind of fills the coffin. And you see it give a thumbs up through the water and then go back down.
Oh, I see. So it's like each one. All right. So we got one. Should we do this one? That's not mahogany. What's that one? The nice one.
That's the really nice wooden one.
Yeah. I go over and open it.
You go over open that one, and it looks like a relatively normal skeleton. It just has its hands crossed over its chest. And it looks up at you and says, what is it that builds things up, lays mountains low, dries up lakes and makes things grow, cares not a whim about your passing, and is like few other things because it is everlasting?
Can you say that again?
A farm?
What is it which builds things up, lays mountains low, dries up lakes and makes things grow, cares not a whim about your passing, and is like few other things because it is everlasting?
Life.
And what does the body look like?
It just looks like it looks similar to the skeleton at the head of the table, at the head of the room. That is just a completely decomposed, just bone skeleton.
Dries up lakes, makes plants grow.
Doesn't notice you
Like
passing.
sunlight.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah,
some of
that's a
it
good one.
seems like
So you
sunlight.
said life,
Or-
sunlight,
Time?
Wind.
time. So it
Oh, time.
you see
Boom
it,
taco.
you see its bones. You see its bones
Fuck you,
start to
Dylan.
like tense up. See its bones start to tense up, and well, one thing I hate riddles that can't be solved, so I'm not gonna fuck y'all over.
No, I'm just kidding.
So like you see its bones start to like vibrate, and then it just kind of fades away, and the bones just turn to like ivory dust.
Okay.
Next.
Nice. Okay, you're crossing them off. I was gonna do it, but my computer's being really slow, so I don't want to like move anything other than this Google Doc. Okay, so the
You
next
said
one
this one's
over.
like a obsidian? Yeah, the one to the right.
Yeah, this one's like dark stone, and it's like really finely crafted stone version of like the marble one. So this one,
I gotta jump out, but just keep doing what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean we can end on
Worry.
this like.
And then I'll read the notes. Yeah, then I
Okay.
gotta jump out, but
Okay.
I can play later this week.
All right.
Cool. See you, Alex.
Sounds good.
See
Yeah.
ya.
Later, dude.
So this one is similar to the other one. It's a skeleton, not a lot of distinguishing features, but its hands are up and over its face. And it starts to speak as you open up the coffin, and it says, it cannot be seen, cannot be felt, cannot be heard, cannot be smelt. It lies behind stars and under hills, and empty holes it fills. It comes first and follows after, ends life and kills laughter.
Darkness?
Yeah, so its hands raise up off of its eyes, and it just starts to like move its jaw and starts cackling, and the lid on the coffin shuts.
All right.
Okay, two left.
Let's crack 'em.
So that one, the oak. So this one is this guy's wearing like a cloak, skeleton also, and he speaks, says, though desert men once called me God, today men call me mad. For I wag my tail when I am angry and growl when I am glad. And the cloak is kind of covering his body.
Dog?
It was the opposite though. He said he wags my tail when I'm
Yeah,
angry.
Wags is angry.
and I
Repeat it one more
growl.
time.
Though desert men once called me God, today men call me mad. For I wag my tail when I am angry and growl when I am glad.
Desert Pharaoh cat?
Yeah, so as it does that, it it opens up its cloak, and a bunch of cats run out of its skeleton.
Fuck.
And there's white and black cats. Like, just those are the two types, and there's like 5 of each, and they just scatter about the room meowing. It's actually upsetting that Alex wasn't there for that. Okay, so the last one.
Yep.
So this guy is wearing armor. He looks like a warrior, paladin, fighter type. He's decked out with his sword, but his sword isn't in his hand. His hand is on his chin, and he died in kind of like a pensive state. And he says, "Delivered by breath, scared heroes to death." That's it.
Words?
He looks at you. He's like, "Close."
Speech? Language?
Scream. Delivered by breath. Scared half to death. Is that what it means?
Scared heroes to death.
Scared heroes to death. Delivered by breath. Scared heroes. And it's close to words.
I don't know how to give a hint without giving it away, because I have some good hints in my mind. But
Alright, repeat it one more time.
delivered by breath, scares heroes to death. Scared heroes.
Is it like it?
Threat?
The what?
It's not related to words.
What'd you say?
It was like a threat. I can't think of anything else that's like close to words.
So the skeleton standing up at the head of the room, kind of like shrugs. He's like, "Admittedly, this one's a bit meta."
Is it like thoughts?
What did you say?
Like thoughts? Like your own thoughts? No.
Words, speech, language, voice?
The guy in the coffin says, "Be more specific rather than general."
So threat maybe is along the right lines.
He was saying that to me because all of the things I was saying is general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Delivered by breath causes hero death. Something like that.
Scares heroes to death, yeah.
Scares heroes to death.
More specific.
And we're in a haunted house. It's not a threat. Scares you to death. Ghost? No. Sneezing?
Sneezing. Meta.
Oh yeah, meta. What's meta? Ghost stories?
Scares heroes.
So it's along the lines of words like speech, language, voice.
Is it a riddle?
Yep. So
Oh.
he
That was meta.
he puts it. He like snaps his hands and he's like, "Ah!" And then he picks up his sword and like wields it, and then the coffin closes.
It's because we're scared of riddles. We don't like them.
Yeah, that's the meta.
Even though I love
thing.
riddles.
It's a hint. I like riddles as long as they're not like stupid. I thought those were cool.
This was
They're
good,
not, like,
yeah.
impossible. So the guy at the head of the room says like, "Well done. Would you like me to repeat mine?" Because he said
Yes.
one also.
Oh.
Kind of lifts his head off once more, holds it up. "I lie here defeated. My life slips away. Though I used to conquer this foe every day, my killer's relentless and touches me now. I know he'll succeed, but to you I vow, give me the weapon. After I've died, I'll breathe once again and tell you what I spied."
That's a long.
Can I hand him the short sword?
Yeah, but he doesn't take it immediately. So you have to
It's like, no, answer the riddle.
gotta solve it. So he holds it up
Used
as
to
part of
quit.
his stance.
He used to defeat it every day.
Getting up for work?
Is this one meta too? This guy died being on the 8 to 5 grind.
Can you
Getting up
send
for
the
work.
can you send it? Can you send it in the chat?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always gonna get you. Eventually. I don't know, maybe not.
That's what I'm thinking about right now. It's gonna kill me.
I guess tomorrow's Monday, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the content of the riddle. And then he says, "But to you I vow, give me the weapon after I've died. I'll breathe once again and tell you what I spy."
His killer touches him now.
Ooh.
That's kind of like time again.
Yeah, I feel like it's time, but I don't think it's going to be the same answer.
A foe.
Is it death?
Death itself?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. No.
Actually, yeah. I mean, the rest of it's still relevant. Yeah, because I'm realizing something as I'm looking.
I'll breathe once again and tell you what I spot. Let's see. Give me
You would say, this is a very poor way to die.
poison?
In a way, but that's not it.
Decay?
My body did.
Gingerbread.
Starvation.
Yep. Hunger
Did
/
you-
starvation.
Damn.
Oh, okay.
He's like, yes, that's it, but
That sucks.
do you have anything? And he puts his hand out.
I hand him the sword.
He's like, no, the weapon which slayed me.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I hand
so
him the
hungry.
sword.
I'm so hungry.
Oh, he needs food. He needs food. Do we have food?
Yeah, y'all would have rations on you, so you'd have like basic survival type food.
I hand him a saltine.
Give him a Nature Valley.
Some hardtack.
It just gets
He's
everywhere.
like, he would say, "Do any of you have apples? I'm a big fan of apples."
Oh shit.
You're starving to death, and you're going to be choosy here. Is that?
I really like apples. If you
I
have
got
one,
some little. I got some.
that'd be
I got
great.
some zebra cakes. I got zebra cakes. That's what I got.
They keep better than apples.
I mean, I would say at least one of y'all would have an apple, but it's up to y'all.
All right, we'll give him the apple.
Oh, delicious apples.
Fucking, is this Ryuk?
Ryuk.
This guy's pretty good. Yeah, he starts to chow down on the apple, and it like the apple juices just like bleed through into like his skeletal body. He's like, oh, so good. Oh yes, I'm back. Okay, and he starts to like walk around. He like does some like calisthenics for a second in his like bony form, and then you see his form kind of like shimmer and apparate, and you see this figure appear where the skeleton was. It is a robed dude, and he carries like this like string of skulls. He puts it down on the table, and he's like, and he's like blindfolded. He's wearing like this long cloak with like death symbology and more skulls on it, and he bows and says, "Thank you. My name is Vok. I was a necromancer, and most of all, a seeker of knowledge." And he starts to walk around, like, inspecting the coffins. He's like, oh, yes. This was the extent of my experiment, my greatest work. This is as far as I got. Aloxis. Yeah, of course. He's like, looks like he's like gathering his thoughts for a second. But he would turn to y'all and be like, thanks again, but why are you here in my room?
We were just hoping to find somebody to give us a tour of the place. Seems nice.
Tour. I'm afraid I can't help you there, but I doubt any of us could. But a tour of the manor. Did Malice call for you, or? And he starts to rip through. He opens up one of the vertical coffins in the corner, and it's filled to the brim with like books. And he starts to root around in it as he's speaking to you.
Whoa. What did he say he would tell us if we helped him? Did he say anything specific? Or
he said what he spied, but he would, if you asked him that, he would say, well, it was about my work and what it meant to this family and what it was going to the city. Like I said, this is as far as it got, but the knowledge that I deal with, my theory, was about the nature of undeath. As a necromancer, this was many years ago, before we discovered what the truth of necromancy really was, and undeath and how to unlock its powers is what I sought. How to empower its capabilities, how to access this dark power that's within every living thing, the capability of living beyond death, but somehow lesser, as you can see. And he like points to the coffins. I made considerable progress, even going as far as to create these specimens, these beings which died in various ways, but now in some small measure remain alive through these riddles. Those are true, by the way. Those are each how they died, and that was part of the magic. I had to find individuals who died in specific ways, so I can help craft this little game that I had with the riddles, but never got much further as far as speaking with dead, yes, but raising them to fully become animated. I never got there. And something was always in the back of my mind about necromancy, gnawing at me all the while through my work. And it was something I never considered before I met Malice, before Malice invited me into his home to work here with Ronde and the others to try to crack this. And this thing gnawing at me was morality. This is what I tried to tell those wretched Loxus individuals, the family, the other family, Beckinsale. What they didn't understand and what me and Malice did is that the introduction of undeath into the world would necessarily develop a whole new feedback system for conscious creatures, a kind of immortality, the kind of thing that man has long sought. And this new power that Loxus so desperately tried to grasp a hold of would have profound changes for modern civilization. Undead servants, soldiers, saboteurs, changes the game of politics, statecraft, warfare. Ultimately, as a necromancer, as necromancy developed, I think I became so acquainted with it. He's still like walking around, he's looking through, he has a wand in his hand now, he's like grabs it, puts it on the table, he grabs a couple books, puts it on the table, he's like, he's kind of gathering his thoughts, tapping the realm of shadow in this way, new formulations, the many uses of undeath. All these things before me, the utility of it was all I had in mind, but I had to make a choice whether or not to, whether or not to work with the Loxus family or oppose them. And I think I decided to oppose them. That's why I died. That I didn't starve myself. Me and Ronde, we were assassinated. Yes, that's it. The Lox family, they had no idea what it would mean. And he's kind of just like sits down, continuing to think. But yeah, he says all that. The Loxus family must have, as he like looks through his books, it's like, it's not here. They must have taken everything, taken full advantage. Given what I learned, if they could actually, year is it? How long have they had it? They could have taken full advantage of the work I was doing and developed any number of undeath methodologies.
They took something from you?
They took everything. They took my work.
It's 2018, by the way.
Oh, God! It's been 100 years. It's like, I signed my own death warrant the day that I spoke out against the Lox family. At Malice's behest, we were in agreement. I spoke out against my own work, what I was doing. Against the Lox's family, I spoke the truth, and they killed me for it. They killed all of us. I'm responsible. Oh, God. He sits down. Again.
It would appear there's more here going on than we thought.
Yeah.
I've actually got to jump. My boss just asked me to call him.
Okay.
But
We can call it.
okay, stopping point.
Yeah, let's get him in the call. Let's get him in the hangout.
Get rid of this.
Okay. So yeah,
Cool.
you just have this slowly realizing necromancer named Vok in this room of the coffins. So that's where we can leave off.
Sounds like, yeah. There's some familial stuff that you might want to unpack next time.
Oh yeah, there's paintings on the walls. The paintings are all of various depictions of undeath, skeletal figures, Thanatos, Lathander, and a death god with wings and a weird face eating an apple. That's canon.
Nice.
Nice.